Ethiopia and Somalia. The two nations began feuding in January. Ethiopia approached a breakaway region of Somalia for port access, the region of Somaliland. It reportedly promised to recognize Somaliland's independence in exchange for maritime trade access. This caused an uproar in Somalia, which saw this as an attack on its sovereignty. So ties between Somalia and Ethiopia hit a record low after this. But yesterday there was a detente. The two countries have struck a deal to ease tensions. They've agreed to find a peaceful resolution to this issue. And one nation helped bring this deal about: Turkey.
Recep Tayyip Erdogan was celebrating yesterday. The Turkish president just pulled off a diplomatic coup. He brought together two bickering sides and mediated an agreement to ease tensions.
As a result of the trust that Somalia and Ethiopia have in our country, we have reached a new stage in the Ankara process that we started approximately 8 months ago. By overcoming resentments and misunderstandings, we have taken the first step towards a new beginning based on peace and cooperation between Somalia and Ethiopia.
So, what were these problems that Erdogan was talking about? Ethiopia is a landlocked nation with over 130 million people. It's the largest landlocked nation in the world. But as you can see from the map, the coast isn't very far away. Most neighboring countries have maritime access to the Arabian Sea or the Red Sea. Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has wanted maritime access for years, unfettered access. So on the 1st of January this year, he struck a port access deal with Somaliland. Now, Somaliland isn't a recognized country. The world considers it a breakaway region of Somalia. But Ahmed struck a deal to lease the Berbera port in Somaliland. In exchange, Somaliland said he offered them recognition. This sparked a major row. Somalia was livid. They saw it as an attack on their sovereignty. Somalia turned to an old friend for help: Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. In July, Turkey signed a deal with Somalia. It started deploying ships to Somalian waters and troops on the ground. It was a clear pressure tactic to get Ethiopia to back away from the Somaliland port deal. Talks were launched simultaneously. They were called the Ankara process, and for a while they looked to be headed nowhere. The first two rounds didn't solve the problem. A third round, initially scheduled for September, was delayed. Negotiations seemed to be at an impasse, and Ethiopia was steadily making its port dreams a reality. In fact, there was a major breakthrough on Tuesday. Somaliland launched an Ethiopian clearinghouse at Berbera port. Ethiopia was on the verge of starting trade operations, but then yesterday, Turkey convened the meeting in Ankara. Erdogan first met the leaders of Somalia and Ethiopia separately, and then they held a joint press conference.
In one aspect, it's a conclusion because it stops on the differences that we had in the recent times. Ethiopia and Somalia are two neighborly countries, and they have mutual interests in cooperating together and building a prosperous future of both our two countries and our two people.
I believe that today's constructive discussions will push us into a new year with this spirit of cooperation, friendship, and the willingness to work together instead of against each other.
Somalia and Ethiopia have agreed to work together. Ethiopia will get sea access through Somalia. They've agreed to begin technical negotiations by the end of February and conclude the talks 4 months after that. All this will be overseen by Turkey. This is a major win for Erdogan. It's a relief for Somalia, and it gives Ethiopia what it wanted: sea access. The only loser seems to be Somaliland. The region has lost a golden opportunity for international recognition, and it may just be stuck with a new clearinghouse that will only gather dust.